Hey YouTube, my Darkness85 here. What's up? Here's my Thunder Dragon deck. So here we go. We run free Battery Man Solar. What this card does is basically when he's normal summon or special summon, you can send one Thunder monster from your deck to your graveyard. If a Thunder monster is normal summon or special summoned, while this monster is on the field, special summon one Battery Man's token onto the field. You can target one Battery Man effect monster you control in your graveyard. This card's name becomes that monster's until the end phase. So basically what this does is this is like a fool's burial for these monsters right here. So you can dump almost any one of them basically from the deck to the graveyard. So it really adds ammunition to the Thunder Dragon Fusion and bring out this guy Colossus and Titan. There's a lot of strategy you can pull with this card. There's a lot of strategies. Now I'm just going to show you the Thunder monsters. We got free Dragonhawk. Basically, you discard this card, special summon one of your Thunder Dragon monsters that is banished or in your graveyard except Dragonhawk. So basically what you can do is you can bring like so basically what this does is you can bring this back via this effect if this is banished or in the graveyard. So it's a really good combo. And its other effect is if this is banished or sent to from the field to the graveyard, you can shuffle any number of cards from your hand into the deck and draw the same number of cards. So basically it's like a reload for your hand. You can choose amount of cards from your hand, put it back into your deck, shuffle, and draw the same number of cards you put back into the deck via this effect. So it's like a magical mallet actually. It's really good. And it has 1800 attack, but it's still a pretty good card. Now we got the free Dragon Dark. No, Dragon Roar. Free Dragon Roar, my bad. Basically, what he does is you can discard this card, add to your hand one of your Thunder Dragon cards that is banished or in the graveyard. And like you can special summon one Thunder. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, basically what this does is this is like a monster reborn for one of your Thunder Dragon monsters. No, wait. You can special summon a Thunder monster from your deck to your hand, to the field, I mean. So it's really a good card, but it has to return to the hand at the end phase of the turn you use this effect. So basically, but it could still help you set up some plays and combos. Now we got the Dragon Dark, 3 of them. Basically what these guys do is you can discard this card, you can add one Thunder Dragon Dark from your deck to your hand. If this card is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand. So basically what you can do is add either a Thunder Dragon monster or you can add a Thunder Dragon Fusion directly to get this guy out. So it's a lot of possibilities you can pull with this card. So it's a lot of strong possibilities. And now this card right here, the Dragon Matrix. Basically what this card does is you can discard this card and basically gives a Thunder monster on your field 500 extra attack points. So basically you can boost up your Colossus to 3100 or your Titan to 3800 to 3700. It's insane. It's a lot of possibilities you can pull with that card. And its other effect is it also adds it can also add, if this is banished or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add another one of these to your hand. So this is a really good card to use. And it has 2000 defense. It can also serve as a stall at times. And you all know what this does. This is self-explanatory. I really don't need to explain it. You discard it. You can add 2 copies of this card from your deck to your hand. So it's self-explanatory. And this one, basically what this guy does, it's like a BLS. What it does is you have to banish one light and one dark monster from your graveyard. So basically what it does is once per turn, if a monster's effect is activated in the hand, this card gains 300 attack until the end of this turn. Every time this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you basically banish a card from the graveyard, add one Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. So basically you can add any one of these guys directly to your hand. You can add either a Matrix, a Dragon Dark, a Thunder Dragon Roar, or Thunder Dragon Hawk. There's a lot of options with that effect. And he has 2800 defense, so he's a really strong monster to use. And you got obviously the 2 Blackluster Soldiers, self-explanatory. You can either banish a card on your opponent's field, and if this destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card can attack again. So basically, further explanation for that card. 2 Danko Sekas. What this does is, when this is on the field, your opponent can't set or activate any set cards on the field. So this basically, if you have like this out on the field and this out on the field at the same time, your opponent's pretty much loses, basically. They're pretty much screwed, obviously. Ash Blossoms, self-explanatory. It really can disrupt your opponent's strategies to make a comeback. Gem Knight Amber, this is solely for the Brilliant Fusion, so this is basically self-explanatory. Next, we run free Brilliant Fusion. Basically, what this card does, you send, basically, you can special summon 1 Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck. So basically, you bring out this guy, Gem Knight Prismania, right here. That's the one you bring out with this build. So you can run other options, but that's what I run, so it's basically a good card to have. 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions. This basically fusion summons one of these guys from your deck, either Colossus or Titan. And its other effect is, during your main phase, except the turn this card was activated, was sent to the graveyard, I mean, you can banish this card from your graveyard, and you can add 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. So basically, if this is in your graveyard during your main phase, you can banish this to add 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand directly. So this actually builds up your strategy even further. The instant fusions, you pay 1,000. You can either special summon Thousand-Eyes Restrict or this guy right here. Some other builds are different, but that's what I run for the instant fusions. So it's really good. Free Gold Sarcophagus. This is actually a really good way to help, you know, have your Thunder monsters trigger their effects if they're banished or something like that. And it also can get cards to your hand a lot quicker, like Thunder Dragon Fusion, the Thunder Dragon, and a lot of other options. Self-explanatory. Monster Reborn, a staple. You can revive one of your opponent's monsters in their graveyard or one of your own, so there's a lot of other options. And the only 2 traps in here are the Infinite Imperiences. Self-explanatory. Now, for the extra deck, we run free Thunder Dragon Colossus. Basically, what this card does, your opponent can't add any cards to their hands except by drawing them. So they can't do like searches for like this can effectively shut down Altergeist because they can't search via Milliseek, Marionetta, Multifaker, you know, a lot of stuff. Because they have to draw the cards. They can't add them. Cards can, as long as it's on the field, your opponent can't add any cards to their hands except by drawing them. So it's like another Thunder King Ryle, basically. And also, it's like the cards can't be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand. They have to draw them, so they can't like do search. But it doesn't include the graveyard, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. Its other effect is, if this card were to be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you could banish one of your Thunder Dragon monsters instead. So basically, by doing that, not only this monster sticks around, when you banish, like, for example, you banish, like, this guy here or this guy here, their effects will trigger off. Or if you banish the Matrix guy, you know, you get another one of them to your hand. So there's a lot of combos you can pull off with the card. You can even probably get a Thunder Dragon Fusion through that, I think. I don't think you can, but it's possible. Now we got the free Thunder Dragon Titan. Basically what this card does is, basically when a Thunder monster's effect is activated in your hand, even during the damage step, you can destroy 1 card on the field. And if this card were to be destroyed by a card effect, you could banish 2 cards from your graveyard instead. So with this guy, you can banish any 2 cards you want, even your spells or traps. Anything in there you can banish. It doesn't have to be a Thunder monster for this guy. It only works by a card effect, though. It won't work by battle, unfortunately, which kind of blows. But, you know, it's a really good card. 3,200 defense, 3,200 attack. It's a really tough card to get over. It's really good. You know what this does? This is for the Brilliant Fusion. And basically what he does is, once per turn, you could send 1 Gem Knight card from your hand to the graveyard to target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. Thousand-Eyes Restrict, self-explanatory. Kamara attack, therefore another instant fusion target. What this guy does right here, basically you could detach 1 material from this card and inflict 2,000 points of damage to your opponent. So yeah. And here's the links. Link Kribo. Basically, when this is summoned, when your opponent declares an attack, you contribute this card. Change that opponent's monster's attack to 0, and you can also tribute one level 1 monster to bring it back. So yeah, and this card right here, once per turn, you can discard 1 card and target 1 Thunder monster in your graveyard except the Link monster. Special summon it to the zone that this card points to. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can do with that card. And then the Nightmare package, a small one, Nightmare Unicorn and Nightmare Phoenix. This blows up a spell or trap by discarding 1 card when it's Link summoned, and this discard 1 card. You can return 1 card on the field back to the deck. So it's self-explanatory. And here's the side deck, the Psych Frame Gear package with the free Gammas and the Psychic Frame Driver. Self-explanatory. 2 of these guys. Dino Wrestler. Self-explanatory. 2 Mind Control. You can steal one of your opponent's monsters. Use it as either a Link material or in a Thunder Dragon mirror match. Use it for a fusion summon. A lot of things you can do with that card. Twin Twister gets rid of spell and traps. Evenly matches. Really can disrupt your opponent's field and really alter their strategy. Self-explanatory. 2 Rivalry of the Warlords. This can combo off perfectly. I have a perfect vision for a combo. Basically, hold on a sec. Let me see something for a sec. Basically, here's a cool combo. This combo right here. This basically prevents your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, this is a pretty sick combo. And last but not least, Imperial Order negates spells and buys you some time to gather up the cards you need to win. So, like I said, this combo right here, if sometimes you can pull this off, you basically win the game. They can't activate any spell. They can't activate any set spell or traps. They can only control 1 monster. Each player can only control 1 type of monster, and both of these are Thunder, so they can only control 1 type. So they can't control a different archetype. So with these 2, it's basically you win the game because your opponent can't add any cards from the main deck to their hands, except by drawing them. And you can banish a Thunder monster from your graveyard to make him indestructible in battle and by card effects. So, and this, you know, it's insane. The only way this would not work, what I really don't recommend you doing, is siding this in a mirror match. It will not work. It will not work. But against decks like Ultrageist, Sky Strikers, and maybe not Sky Strikers, but Frogs, it's kind of insane. So yeah, it's a pretty cool card. So yeah, like I said, or even better, just have these 2 out. It's basically not good. So yeah, that's my Thunder Dragon build. I hope you all enjoy. More videos coming soon. Later, guys.